Namo Buddhaya. Welcome back to Monks in the Morning from Colombo Dhamma Friends of Mahameonawa. We're so happy you could tune in today. It's wonderful to get to spend time with all of you. Today, we're going to listen in on a discussion that some of our good Dhamma friends had with one of the venerable monks about their time in lockdown. Now, some of you may be listening to this episode long after the coronavirus happened, and you may not remember what it was like. So, what was happening was, to protect ourselves and our friends, wise leaders asked us to stay at home whenever possible. This way, the virus won't spread to other people. It isn't a punishment, it's a way to keep everyone safe. So, for many people who don't understand the Supreme Buddha's teachings, this situation gives them lots and lots of suffering, because they can't go wherever they want. They can't see the people that they like to see. They can't even eat the food that they like to eat. But in this Dhamma discussion today, we'll learn how these kids were able to live happily in this situation, even though they were scared and couldn't do the things that they were used to doing. So before we listen, let's take the refuges and the precepts.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Say after me, I observe the precept of abstaining from killing beings. I observe the precept of abstaining from stealing. I observe the precept of abstaining from sexual misconduct. I observe the precept of abstaining from telling lies. I observe the precept of abstaining from taking intoxicating drinks and drugs with the refuge of the Noble Triple Gem. I observe these precepts for happiness in this life, for rebirth in heaven, to escape from the sufferings of samsara. May it help me. May it be a blessing. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo Buddhaya, dear children and dear parents. After a long time, we have once again received the opportunity to conduct a Dhamma discussion with the children of Kalamba Dhamma Friends Monastery of Mahameonava. Here with me today are 3 children who were able to come to Dasapur after 4 long months in lockdown. From these 2, we have 2 brothers from one family and another child. So I would like to ask a few questions about their time in lockdown. So we have Dulinaputa, then we have Duvin Malli, Dulina's brother, and Lojanaputa. So what do you think about this, Dulinaputa? So what did you do during lockdown time to practice the Buddha's teachings? How did you allocate time, and even you did not come to the monastery, how did you manage yourself to practice the Buddha's wonderful instructions?
Namo Buddhaya, so I answered. So during the lockdown time, which was 4 months long, we every week we took Sil, and on the Poya days we also took the 8 precepts, and then we also every Poya day and every day we offered Buddha Puja to the Great Supreme Buddha in our shrine room at our house. 3 Bhante, I got the great opportunity to help one of the Swaminanses do some editing for the Samyutta Nikaya online books. So I got that opportunity. And lastly, Bhante, we had many meetings that allowed us to converse with the Mahasangha, the Bhantes of Colombo Dhamma Friends, and from New Zealand, the kids there as well. So we were able to collect a lot of merit from these 4 things and continue to learn the Dhamma even though we were not able to come to the Asapua.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Next we have Duvin with us. So Duvin, why did you come to the monastery today? You came for the Dhamma discussion, or why did you decide to come here?
Namo Buddhaya. Bhante, I came today hoping that I could collect some merit and get some help for my life. And so I came here to help Bhantes with anything that I could, and I came to offer dana.
So what made you to come here? Did your parents tell you to come here, or you decided to come?
Me and Aya, we decided to come because we hadn't come to the Asapua for quite a while because of the lockdown.
I think more than 4 months, right?
Yes, Bhante, a little bit more than 4 months, maybe even 5.
Yeah. So what did you do, Pute?
Bhante, as Aya said, we offered dana to the Supreme Buddha every day.
Every day.
Yes, Bhante. And we took Sil every Sunday and also on Poya days. So we were able to collect a lot of merit by doing that. And I also got some work from Bhantes, like drawings. And then, also doing Dhammapada introductions. And
That's great.
so even though I was at home, I was able to collect a lot of merit and benefit myself.
Didn't you feel lonely?
Sanse, not really, because I was with my family, so it was okay.
What did you think about that period being locked down?
Sanse, it didn't really affect me that much because I wasn't sick or like I wasn't in any pain, so it didn't really affect me that much.
How did you feel when you hear all these bad news about people dying?
Sanse, I feel really, really sad because, like, even though for some people it's kind of like it gives them time to like seclusion kind of. For other people it must be really hard for them because they can't see their family members, they're stuck in the hospital all alone. So I feel really sad.
Didn't you ever think that misfortune, which happened to many people in the Europe and in other countries, would happen to you as well in this life or in upcoming birth as well?
Sensei, yes, sometimes I did think of that and it scared me a lot, Sensei.
So after getting scared or maybe after understanding the danger of these problems, what was the next step that you took forward?
Sensei, I'd think of the Supreme Buddha and it would help a lot. So I would think of how the Supreme Buddha, he had no fear and he had eradicated all defilement, so he never had to go through the suffering of samsara ever again.
So Buddha escaped from samsara and Buddha escaped from all the suffering. So how can you escape from suffering? What has Buddha given you?
Sensei, the Supreme Buddha was very compassionate to not just me, to everyone. And so he taught us the great Dhamma, which clearly says how you can eradicate all defilements and how you can get to the ultimate happiness.
So what do we have to do, Buddha, to overcome from this miserable journey of being born and dead?
So the Supreme Buddha taught us about the Noble Eightfold Path and about the Four Noble Truths. So if we can understand those and develop those qualities, then we will be able to understand the Supreme Buddha's Dhamma clearly.
Okay, now Dulin, our next Buddha is waiting. Who's that? Lochana Buddha. So Lochana Buddha, how did you spend your time? What are your experiences during this lockdown and how did you cope up? How did you cope with the amount of bad news from all around the world?
Now Buddhaya avasaraya Sainansa. Like from the time we got holidays, like from March 13th until now, I was chanting Paritta with the monks of the Mahamevuna Buddhist Monastery at night at 9 p.m. Also, I was helping a family next door, like it was my neighbor. He had no way to find money and to earn. So we gave him food and vegetables, all the supplies every month. And they were happy with it. Also, I share the merit we collected with all the other living beings in this whole world. And also the corona patients. Also, Sainansa, when I got to know like there were many people dying in the world, Sainansa, I was like, how bad is this sansara, Sainansa?
So Lochana Buddha, can you explain us what is sansara? What is this sansara?
Sensei, if we take as an example, as a presenter coming into a stage, presenting himself and going again back, it means like from the beginning we were born somewhere, like as a human being, a devata, or in the apaya Sainansa, like the hell. So we can be like born as a crow, a dog, anyone. We are like entering a stage like being born somewhere, again living, it's for some time, and again dying. Sansara, we were continuing this for a long time until now, Sainansa. And also in the future, Sainansa, we will be continuing this.
So how can Buddha's teachings help us to overcome sansara, Dulina Buddha?
Avasarai Bhante. So the Supreme Buddha teaches in numerous discourses about the Noble Eightfold Path and how if we follow this clear and wonderful path, we will achieve Nibbana, which is a stage in which we no longer travel through this endless journey of birth and death.
So to stop this endless journey of being born and dead, we have to achieve a state, you call it Nibbana.
Yes, ma'am.
So Nibbana means through the Buddha's teachings. Can you elaborate a little bit? Can you explain what Nibbana is? What happens to the mind when you attain Nibbana?
Yes, Bhante. So Nibbana, from my understanding and from what the Supreme Buddha teaches, is when we eradicate greed, hatred, delusion, the three roots of all suffering, and
Excellent.
eradicate all defilements from our minds.
Very good. So once we have eradicated all these defilements, Duvin Putta, imagine we have eradicated anger. lust or delusion, then would a person do, or would a person accumulate karma to be reborn again?
No, Bante.
So Duvin Putta, why people do not accumulate any karma to be reborn anymore?
Because Bante, once they've eradicated the 3 root defilements, they no longer collect any bad karma, and because we are only going through this terrible samsara because we always have craving, we always have some sort of defilements in our mind, so that accumulates bad karma, so we have to continue this journey. But once those people have eradicated those defilements, they no longer collect the karma, so then they no longer have to continue this journey.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So it looks like the coronavirus has blessed you all. What do you all think about it?
To a certain extent, Bante, yes. Because even after when the lockdown finished, we got rare opportunities even then to go visit great chaityas and see relics ourselves. So to a certain extent, it has been.
I think this coronavirus period, for the children who have been learning Dhamma for a long time and who have been practicing Dhamma, this virus has not affected them.
එහෙමයි සයිනන්ස.
So how can you tell it? How can you tell that, Lochana Putta, that it has not affected you?
Also, the monks of the Mahamevuna Buddhist monastery helped us to learn Dhamma. They were teaching us Dhamma through YouTube and also having poetry programs online and conducting Zoom meetings and teaching us the Noble Dhamma. And also, the children were also helping us reading Sutta, doing meditations and recordings. So I believe that the coronavirus didn't affect us who learned Dhamma Science, especially. But for science, the children who didn't learn Dhamma, like the children who are away science, they're bored at home. They don't have anything to do at home science.
Yeah, now especially to meditate. And then you need some freedom, right? To calm your minds, to read Dhamma books. So you had that freedom during that time. So that means any miserable situation, Duvin Putta, how difficult it is, how miserable it is, Buddha's teachings has what?
It always helps us keep calm throughout it and somehow find a way to make it through.
Very good. So what a blessing for us, right? Meeting the Buddha's teachings. And we should remember that we got this opportunity in this era because of our Loko Swamin Wahanse, most venerable Avasarai Kiribat Goda, Jnanananda, Pingwat, Loko Swamin Wahanse.
Avasarai science, why do some children don't like to learn Dhamma? Like they neglect science at
That's
times?
because this is like swimming up currents.
Science.
It's not easy as we think. It's all like the usual nature of the mind is like as Duvin Putta came out with these 3 defilements. Even Dulena Putta explained the 3 defilements, right? The unwholesome roots. When their minds are covered with these unwholesome roots, they will act in an evil way. And what they would like is desires and defilements. So I think even those kids now the thing is to convince those children, we should create a wonderful community of kids who are learning and practicing Dhamma. So once they start seeing a group like that, they will also feel like following
Since the thing is
those
that
lives.
the children have not experienced learning the Dhamma, so they neglect science. Some children.
I think Putta, mainly the parents should help the children. So, Dulina Putta, to conclude this program, this Dhamma discussion. So now again we can start doing more Dhamma discussions in the future programs. But then for this program, since we have very limited time, so Dulina Putta, what do you have to say at last?
So Bante and Mali and Lochana Mali. So after a very long time, we got a very, very rare opportunity to once again do something that we've been missing for 4 or 5 months in our lives. Something that even though we do such things at home with Zoom meetings, this is a whole different experience, and it's a very powerful and peaceful experience for us. So for us to gain this opportunity after so long is a great blessing. All thanks to Bantes and the Colombo Dhamma friends and most venerable Loko Sayananse. And I very much hope that we can do more like this and even open up the Hampasal and the Poetic programs live, Poetic programs in Colombo and all those. I hope we can open them up again very soon.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So Duvin Puta, what did your ayah do today in the monastery?
Sanse, so he made dana for Bante.
What did he make?
Sanse, he made a stir fry.
Ah.
So yeah, and he offered dana.
Now this is the second day you're coming, right?
Yeah, my Bante.
So what did you all do on the first day?
Bante, when we came first, we made some small dana items, and then we offered dana, and we made and so after we offered dana, we helped to clean the garden, and we removed the leaves and removed the unnecessary plants, and also I helped to hang a plant over the doorway to make the asapua look more pleasant.
Sadhu, sadhu. So your ayah can cook and do gardening as well, right?
Yes, Bante.
So Dulina, which one do you like? Gardening or cooking?
Bante, honestly, I like gardening better because it's more hands-on, and also we do a lot of farming at home because of the corona period. But cooking is actually a lot of fun too, because also we get to offer the Bantes as well, right?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I rejoice in all your merit. So Lochana Puta, at last, what do you have to say?
Sir, I invite all the people, the Dhamma friends, the meritorious Dhamma friends who are listening, to join us online for our Zoom meetings, and on every Poe day we are starting our programs from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our venerable Swaminanse and also the Swaminanses in Colombo Dhamma Friends are conducting the programs. We can be meritorious and observe 8 precepts and protect them the whole day.
Okay, very good.
Avasara Sensei, I have a very quick question. One of my friends in Canada, who actually had gotten the coronavirus, her whole family had gotten the coronavirus, had asked me if I ever had the chance, because they no longer have the chance to ask Bantes, if I ever had the chance to ask this. When they had coronavirus, they didn't seem different, nor did they actually mind the virus much. And it wasn't to a very bad extent, but they were quite scared. How would we cope with this if we were a patient ourselves?
Yeah, we should first of all understand that diseases are not something avoidable. And then if they have done a lot of wholesome deeds, they could be happy thinking that there is something to protect my life. The good karma is always with me to protect my life. Even the body is affected. The mind will not be ever affected. So the good karma, the merits are something that cannot be stolen by others. So they should be thinking that I have accumulated something that cannot be stolen by others. And just like even if they come to a worst case in life, even if they die, even if they come to the last stage of their life and the last few minutes to live in this world, then they could think that it's like Buddha has said that it's like throwing a pot filled with oil to a river, and then that pot will go to the bottom of the river, and then the pot will break, the clay pot. But the oil will come to the surface. And death can happen in any way, not always from coronavirus. So it's just accepting whatever we get in life, adjusting our life to the true nature. What we try to do is we don't try to adjust to the true nature. We try to fight with the true nature. So when we try to fight with the true nature in an evil way, in a wrong way, which is unavoidable, which is unpredictable, then we will get tired and unsatisfied. So today we were fortunate to have these kids in the monastery. After a long time, they prepared dana for Mahasangha, and they cleaned the monastery, and we did a Dhamma discussion. So after a long time, we were able to pass the Buddha's message again to the other kids all around the world. So by the power of this merit, may everyone have the opportunity to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.
I'm so happy that we were able to spend time together today. We hope that you learned something new, and we really hope that you can use what you learned as you go about the rest of your day. I wonder how you've been doing during lockdown. How have you been collecting good karma? By meditating, or reading suttas, chanting, helping your family? Why don't you ask your parents to help you leave a voicemail for us to share what you've been doing? Just click on the show notes link. You know, it can be really helpful to hear about how other people are handling a difficult situation. Otherwise, it's easy to only think about what we're missing out on. But when we learn good examples of ways that we can make a difficult situation beneficial, then it becomes easy to spend our time in a useful way. And it lets us give up being sad about the things that we can't have because we're remembering all the things that we can do to help ourselves. Actually, this is a really, really great lesson to learn in life, because this definitely won't be the last time that we have to live through unpleasant situations, will it? As young people, if you get to learn about this now, then when you're older, you'll know how to apply the Buddha's teachings, so you always have a good life, even when times are tough. So, think about sending us a voicemail or even just writing in to tell us how you're able to collect merit when you're stuck at home, for whatever reason. Because when we hear about this, it inspires us, doesn't it? Thinking about how these sons were able to collect merit when they were at home, it makes us really happy. So, in the same way, we would like other people to be happy thinking about the merit that we've collected today, by going for refuge, by taking the precepts, and by listening in on this Dhamma discussion. We had the chance to learn really important Dhamma. So, may our teachers, our parents, our relatives, may they all rejoice in this merit. And through the power of this rejoicing, the power of this merit, may they soon experience for themselves the supreme bliss of Nibbana in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo Buddhaya.